We operate under a silent agreement with the world around us. We trust the walls of our homes are solid. The dark stretch of a midnight commute offers a cloak of anonymity, and the brief, polite exchanges we have with strangers evaporate the second we walk away. That agreement is fragile. It can break when you drop a handful of coins at a local coffee shop. It unravels when headlights catch a shadowy figure on a quiet street. It disappears entirely the moment you realize your locked apartment door is resting a fraction of an inch open. A predator treats these small anomalies as data points. They use these moments to map out the precise timing of a routine, searching for the exact moment a target is most vulnerable. The most effective threats navigate the physical and digital architecture of our lives, using the very structures we rely on for protection to dismantle our privacy from the outside in. The first layer of defense is the public sphere. For a 21-year-old actress home from college, this boundary was breached during a morning coffee run. While paying for bagels, she dropped her spare change. The barista helped her pick it up, and they had a brief conversation about a rugby injury to his finger. That interaction provided the barista with her face and her first name. He used that information to locate her social media profiles, initiating an aggressive pursuit that involved hundreds of messages and spam likes across TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram. The pursuit turned physical when she posted a cast announcement. By tagging the theater's location, she provided the exact address where she'd be every night. He appeared that same night. The victim found 2 distinct handprints on her car window, confirming her location was breached. He later bypassed the theater's physical security by posing as a boyfriend. He brought flowers to the box office and convinced a new employee to reveal where the actress would exit the building after the show. The anonymity we assume in a crowd disappears the moment specific location data allows a stranger to track our movements in real time. The second layer of security is the transitional sphere. When we are driving alone late at night, insulated by a car, we often feel isolated and invisible to those outside the vehicle. A young woman driving home at 2 a.m. had this feeling of isolation destroyed. Her headlights illuminated a figure dressed in black, wearing leather gloves, standing rigidly outside the doors of a local pharmacy. After seeing the man track her car, she panicked. She pulled her vehicle directly into her driveway, revealing her exact address. The man abandoned the pharmacy and focused entirely on her home, tracking which room she entered as she turned on her lights. At 3:30 a.m., she woke to the sound of someone softly humming just outside her cracked bedroom window. The man had used the time to move from the street to the side of her house. When she pulled back the blinds, she saw him. He stood inches from the glass with his gloved hands over his face. His fingers parted just enough to reveal a single eye peering through the gap to watch her. In a moment of panic, a direct path home can lead a threat through the final physical boundaries of a residence. The innermost layer of security is the home itself. For a 19-year-old server, her locked apartment was the one place she assumed she was completely alone. That security began to fail through small, unexplained changes. She found muddy boot prints on her carpet, a jug of water opened in the fridge, and her thermostat set to the highest possible temperature. Because no valuables were stolen, her friends in the leasing office suggested she was simply being forgetful. Without evidence of a break-in, she was left to doubt her own observations of her environment. To prove the intrusions were real, she placed clear tape at the bottom of her doorframe every time she left. Repeatedly, she returned to find the tape was gone, providing objective proof that someone was entering her home while she was at work. The intruder was eventually identified as a maintenance worker. He didn't need to force the door because he possessed a master key, allowing him to enter and exit at will without leaving a trace. He lived in the unit directly across the street, precisely 50 feet away. This gave him a clear line of sight to her front door, allowing him to wait until she left for work before using his key. Standard locks and structural barriers fail when the person monitoring your movements is the same person who holds the keys to your door. These specific threats were eventually resolved. The theater stalker was banned. The man at the pharmacy fled, and the maintenance worker was arrested. However, for the victims, the psychological impact remains. The locks were changed, but the realization of how easily their privacy was bypassed has permanently altered how they view their surroundings. In these stories, the mechanical defenses of a home were less effective than the victim's own instincts. Noticing a faint hum or a piece of tape was the only thing that allowed them to recognize the danger before it escalated. These boundaries are only as strong as our awareness of them. Recognizing just how easily these fragile layers can be tested is often the very first step in maintaining them.